Previously on the Jib, Fred Hampton was a conscientious, hard-working, compassionate, all-rounder and community organizer in Chicago who joined the Black Panther movement. Then the FBI got involved. What could possibly go wrong? Hello, and welcome to the Jib. This podcast is about the many and varied schemes of the many and varied U.S. law enforcement and intelligence agencies, organizations, and committees, and how they are stupid and funny. Join us on our merry journey through space and time. Hi, I'm Barry, and you might recognize me as the face of 21st century existential dread.
Okay. Hi, everybody. I'm Seamus, and you may know me from You Stole My Heart, So I Stole Your Kidney.
Seamus, do we get to hear more about last week's story?
Yes, we do, my friend. So we should just dive into where we left off after learning about COINTELPRO, FBI, all that happy stuff, right?
Yes.
So we're in 1968. Fred was accused of assaulting an ice cream truck driver playing Robin Hood by stealing $71 worth of ice cream bars and giving them to the kids on the street. Later, May 69, he would be sentenced to 2 to 5 years in prison. Writer Frank B. Wilderson III placed this incident within the framework of COINTELPRO efforts to disrupt the Black Panthers of Chicago in the case of leveling trumped-up charges.
Well, now, hang on. If you're going to level charges against him that are false, that's a good one.
You think so?
Oh, because he's already well known for feeding children in the area.
True.
So his robbed an ice cream van to give the kids ice cream is not entirely without something Fred might do.
This is true, but it'd be also one that'd be hard to look at that. What did he do? That horrible man. How dare he feed the children with ice cream? You know what I mean? It doesn't really go very far, does it? I mean,
well, I don't know. They got him anyway for it, according to Frank B. Wilderson III.
He was released from jail on a $2,000 bail bond. He immediately held a press conference where he declared that the Black Panther Party was acting in the interests of the people whom government ignored and oppressed. Quote, "The people will not tolerate any oppressive system or farce that attempts to jail the very people who feed their hungry children."
Dude, you could have done a better impression. You could be like, "The people will not tolerate any oppressive system or force that attempts to jail the very people who feed their hungry children."
So this is why you should read everything from now on. Yeah, at least the quotes. At least the quotes. At least the quotes. Yeah. Hampton did organize a mock trial with a group of white leftists known as the New Left. The famous speech we had at the end of last week's episode. So
cool.
If you haven't seen that, go check it out. In 1968, J. Edgar Hoover is already publicly calling the Black Panther Party the greatest threat to America.
Oh, shit. The greatest threat to America is the Black Panther in 1968.
Yeah.
All right.
And also in late 68, the Racial Matters Squad, a pseudo-progressive name if there ever was one, of the FBI Chicago field office, recruited a black man named William O'Neill. O'Neill had been arrested for interstate car theft and impersonating a federal officer. In exchange for having his felony charges dropped and receiving a monthly stipend, so he's getting paid, Yeah. O'Neill agreed to infiltrate the Black Panthers as a counterintelligence operative.
He's a stoolie.
Yeah. O'Neill joined up and quickly rose in the organization, became director of the chapter security in Hampton's bodyguard. One of his duties for the Panthers was to weed out possible informants.
Ironically.
Yeah, right? That guy, definitely a snitch. Not me, but that guy right there. See how he doesn't walk like me and talk like me? He's definitely a snitch.
Trust me, I know what these guys look like.
Right, yeah. O'Neill did not go unnoticed. Fred pointed out some bizarre behavior by William. He once talked about building an electric chair to use on snitches. And even a rocket launcher.
Now that's the kind of thing you see. That's projection. The guy's saying like, "These snitches, we need to blow them up with dynamite." Dude, you're a snitch at that point.
Calm down. What are you trying to tell us, man? Fred openly condemned these ideas to O'Neill and the rest of the Black Panther Party. Former Panther Lewis Truelock said that during a visit to O'Neill's father's home, the informer showed him plastic caps, plastic bottles of liquid, enough material to produce several bombs. He proposed that they blew up an armory and later suggested robbing McDonald's restaurant.
So O'Neill had bomb-making equipment in his dad's house.
Yeah.
Mm.
These crazy schemes, the electric chair and the bomb, were part of a series of schemes. O'Neill tried to trap Hampton on behalf of the FBI. So this was all just,
That is a common FBI tactic. FBI has often gotten involved in various organizations they thought were dangerous, and it turned out that the only dangerous element of the entire organization was the one guy working for the FBI.
Yes.
This is happening here as well with the Black Panthers as well, right?
Yeah, I think these guys are committing crimes. How can we prove it? We're going to get them to commit a crime.
No, we're going to commit crimes. Like O'Neill here is the only dangerous element of the Black Panthers.
Yeah.
His actual bomb-making equipment in his dad's house.
It's fucking mental, man.
Mm.
Hampton's leadership would prove to be successful in Chicago that year, though. Using his charisma and diplomacy, Fred was able to organize a non-aggressive pact among Chicago's most powerful street gangs, emphasizing that racial and ethnic conflicts amongst gangs would only keep its members entrenched in poverty. Hampton saw that he was able to achieve and rolled on down to do more. He went on to forge an anti-racist, class-conscious, multiracial alliance among the Black Panther Party, the Young Patriots Organization, and the Young Lords under leadership of Jose Chacha Jimenez. Jimenez. Eventually leading to the formation of the Rainbow Coalition. I can't believe I haven't put any pictures of our man yet. Here you go. Read this one here, Barry.
Okay. If you walk through life and don't help anybody, you haven't had much of a life. You know what? That's 100% true.
Yep.
You want to be useful to the people around you. Just help somebody do something, because it doesn't cost you anything. I mean, obviously it costs him his time and his resources and so on, but a lot of people, you can help somebody and it doesn't cost you anything. You might as well do it, right? Right. So he's right about that.
Many were shocked that Fred could bring to the table so many organizations from so many different backgrounds. To bring rival black gangs together was impressive. To have Latino gangs become allies was incredible. Yet bringing an organization of whites who wave the Confederate flag to an organization that will help poor black folk, is the stuff only one can imagine. I mean, the UN couldn't even pull that off, right? This group was called the Young Patriot Organization, or YPO.
The UN would love to do something like that.
Right? Excuse me. Many of the YPO members were racist, and they flaunted controversial symbols associated with Southern pride, such as the Confederate flag.
Still a problem, right?
Yep. But like blacks and Latinos, the white patriots, they and their families experienced discrimination in Chicago. In their cases, it became that they were because they were poor and from the South.
Well, now, you see, that's one of the things Karl Marx did in his little book. He tried to explain to people, the working class people, that you people have more in common with each other than you ever will with the people, who are running the place.
Right.
And the people who are running the place are happy enough to see you fighting against each other. And if Fred Hampton managed to crack through all that, he's a genius. Look what he's after doing. The man's a genius.
Well, I mean, look at this photo here for those that aren't
just amazing.
Just listening to audio. Yeah. You got a picture of two Black Panthers and two of the YPOs with Free the Panthers, the Black Panther kind of logo.
Yeah, right next to the Confederate flag.
Yep, and they're all sitting there having a good laugh. Actually, there's three Panthers. Apologies. Excuse me. In short time, the Black Panther leader, which was, of course, Fred Hampton, wanted to advance the group's goals by forming the Rainbow Coalition of working-class, poor people of all races. Members of the Chicago Panthers and the YPO attended others' organizations, meetings, and decided to work together on their common issues. Over time, the Black Panthers learned to tolerate the Confederate flags, which they even had this pen. Which could you describe that for the people at home that are listening on?
We're looking at a badge pin, and it is the Confederate flag with a black arm and a white arm shaking hands right over it. It's
pretty crazy.
Pretty crazy, but Fred Hampton.
Yep. So over time, the Black Panthers learned to tolerate Confederate flags after making the young patriots denounce racism. Eventually, the young patriots rejected their deeply embedded ideas of white supremacy and even the Confederate flag. As they realized how much that they had in common with the Black Panthers, Latino young lords, all through the influence of Freddie fucking Hampton, dude.
Mm.
Guy's a
Can
fucking
we
man.
stop there for a few moments?
Why? Do you need to go to the bathroom or what's up?
No. I have to tell you about who today's episode is sponsored by.
Oh shit! We're gonna keep doing this in the middle of the show, dude. What the hell?
This I was given specific instructions.
All
Today's
right,
episode is sponsored by CAPS. Are you addicted to capitalism? Do you know what's wrong for you, but you just can't stop drinking in that sweet, sweet stuff? CAPS is a clinically tested and medically approved dermatologically safe skin patch which can help slowly wean you off the human spirit grinder called capitalism. Just one patch a day can help you understand that you have way more in common with the people you hate than you do with the people you think are your leaders. Ask your doctor if CAPS is right for you.
No side effects.
Well, I think I didn't get a chance to write any side effects. No.
Oh, okay. All right, sorry about that.
May cause revolutions.
You may be experiencing a coup eventually. The CIA will find you more
Contact your doctor
interesting.
if your coup lasts for 48 hours or longer.
Oh shit! All right,
back to the show.
Yeah.
Back to the show.
back to our hero. Fred and others were constantly being harassed and arrested for nonsense. Yeah, another important component of what got all these folks together was to form a kind of a washers. They're like the first auditors of the police, right? Because this is also post the 68 Chicago Democratic convention.
Of course,
yeah,
the daily, yeah.
Yeah, so basically all these groups realized how fucked up the police were and like
Monitoring them now.
Yep, started monitoring them. So yeah, and of course resulted they were already getting arrested, but it ramped it up, man. Right. So once Hampton met with the young lords the day after that, they were in the news for occupying a police community workshop in the Chicago 8th District Police Station. They were arrested twice with Jimenez. Both were charged with mob action at a peaceful picket at the Wicker Park Welfare Office. So that's just one example. Fred was able to land more groups to join the Rainbow Coalition. Things turned another corner when the Students for a Democratic Society, the SDS, the Brown Berets, AIM, and the Red Guard party joined the coalition on a national scale. In May 1969, Hampton called a press conference to announce that the coalition, a united front against fascism, had formed. Look out. The coalition was to address issues that were community-based, such as poverty, racism, corruption, police brutality, and substandard housing. These efforts would be done as a group with members of the coalition supporting each other. It would be a common thing for the YPO to run security for the Panthers or vice versa. So that itself is kind of crazy, isn't it? I mean,
it's wonderful, but also the worst news for weaponized capitalism, which is what fascism is. The worst news for fascism is working class people organizing on the ground.
Yep.
As soon as the working class people organize on the ground, fascism is fucked. And that's why when you go into like Amazon, one of the first things they do when you're hired is they show you a video explaining why unions are terrible. Don't join. You know about this. You do.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, of course the guy making all the money doesn't want you to join a union, and he's framing it like it's for you. It's for your own benefit because this union will take a cut of your wages, and you should really negotiate with us directly. And oh my God, join a union, folks.
Yeah, and I'm not saying that some unions are bad, but you have to, if you're going to be in a union, you also have to, hold your fellow union leaders and workers accountable too. So
absolutely,
that's the way it works. So, but yeah, sorry, we can go on a whole diatribe about unions.
Perfect. I'm saying that there were working class people organizing on the ground, which is antithetical to fascism.
Yep. Okay, I concur. By now, Hampton assumed the chairmanship of the Illinois State Black Panther Party. This automatically made him a national deputy chairman. As the FBI's COINTELPRO began to disseminate nationwide Panther leadership.
Okay, hang on. It says
Yep.
there you're saying that the COINTELPRO began to decimate the nationwide Panther leadership. Can you give
Yep.
me a quick example or two of how they managed to do that, or what they were doing to decimate the nationwide Panther leadership?
Oh, we're going to get to that in just one second.
Okay, I'm sorry. Sure, carry on.
Yeah, yep. So Hampton's prominence in the national hierarchy increased rapidly and dramatically. This made him a big target for the FBI, of course.
Sure did, yeah.
69, the special agent in charge in San Francisco wrote to Hoover. In his city, at least the Panthers were primarily feeding breakfast to children. Hoover responded with a memo implying that the agent's career prospects depending on his supplying evidence to support Hoover's view that the Black Panther Party was, quote, a violence-prone organization seeking to overthrow the government by revolutionary means.
Now, again, that tells you how these people are thinking. What we know is that the Black Panther Party was definitely feeding children.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
And this is a threat. Not just a threat, but apparently the biggest threat to the United States of America is that kind of working class solidarity. Now, that'll tell you how these people are thinking. And he's already how they're thinking now.
He's already called him the greatest threat to America right now. And we're in 1969. You got the Vietnam War going on. You got the Cold War. You know, the struggles in Cuba and whatnot. So fuck all those things that, you know, and we can argue the merits of all that. But all that's a back burner to these fuckers who are feeding kids.
Yeah.
What the actual fuck, man?
Yeah.
It just makes no sense. Or if it makes perfect sense if you realize what they're actually saying or not saying, right? Yeah. Anywho, using anonymous letters, this kind of goes into what you were asking for. The FBI sowed distrust and eventually instigated a split between the Panthers and the Black Standard Rangers. FBI snitch O'Neill instigated an armed clash between them on April 2nd, 1969.
Not like the sound of an armed clash.
No. The Panthers became effectively isolated from the power base in Chicago ghetto, so the FBI worked to undermine its ties with radical organizations. O'Neill was instructed to create a rift between the party and the Students for the Democratic Society, whose Chicago's headquarters was near that of the Panthers.
Fun fact, the word ghetto is an Italian word. It's from that part of Venice where the Jews lived.
Oh, Jesus Christ. Really?
Really.
So that's the connotation they're saying, well, it could be bad, but at least you're not with the Jews. Is that it?
Well, originally that's what a ghetto was. I think now it's just any area where that has, as you phrased it earlier, substandard housing.
Okay. Wow.
Mm.
Shit, you're teaching me things, my man. The FBI released a batch of racist cartoons in the Panthers' name aimed at alienating white activists. It also launched a disinformation program to forestall the formation of the Rainbow Coalition. But the Black Panthers did make an alliance with the Young Patriots and the Young Lords. It repeated directives. Hoover demanded that COINTELPRO personally investigate the Rainbow Coalition. Quote, destroy the Black Panthers stands for and eradicate its serve the people's programs.
Ironically, what Hoover is suggesting here is a sever the people program.
Yeah.
And he said, but he's being open about it then. He eradicated it's a serve the people program.
Again, I mean, what the fuck?
They're telling you who they are.
Yeah, all they're doing is feeding fucking kids. They're trying to take care of poor people, not just blacks, but also Latinos and whites. They're trying to, actually, be fucking humanist, right?
Yeah, and he pretty much flipped a bunch of racists.
Yeah.
Because a lot of these racist, working class racist organizations, they're really racist because of their condition rather than because they hate black people or whatever.
Right.
And we just flip and explained to them that, you have more in common with these people.
Yeah, but I think condition and conditioned, right?
Yes. But Hampton managed, I don't know what he said to these people, but I'd love to read the manual on that.
Right?
Mm.
Oh, it's fucking amazing.
Mm.
Documents secured by the Senate investigation in the early 70s revealed that the FBI activity encouraged violence between Panthers and other radical groups. Shocker. This provoked multiple murders in cities throughout the country. On July 16, 1969, an armed confrontation between party members and the Chicago Police Department resulted in one Black Panther Party member being mortally wounded and 6 others arrested in serious charges.
So the FBI basically pushed this split these people apart agenda until it blew up in several cities and got people murdered.
Yep.
Right.
By early October, one other thing I forgot to mention about Fred Hampton that sets him apart from other people this time too. He was also a feminist. He made radical waves in the movement of the Black Panthers to try to make sure that the women were not exploited, that sexism should be addressed and was a real thing. Yeah,
that's a communist thing. That is a communist thing. Yep. We're all equal.
In early October, Hampton and his girlfriend Deborah Johnson.
Ooh, his girlfriend. Freddie sitting in a tree.
Okay. I don't even know how to.
Was that too childish for this?
Maybe a little bit, but that's okay.
We can cut it out. I'm sorry.
That's all right. Yeah. I'll definitely edit that one out, Barry. Don't worry about it. Yeah. Johnson and his girlfriend rented a 4.5 room, that's kind of funny, room apartment at 2337 West Monroe Street to be closer to the Black Panthers headquarters. Cool. O'Neill reported to his handlers at the time in the FBI that much of the Panthers' guns and other weapons were stored there. He drew them a map of the apartment and indicated with a red X the room where Fred would be sleeping. In November, Hampton traveled to California on speaking engagements with UCLA Law Students Association. He met with the remaining Black Panther Party members and he was appointed to the party's central committee. He would soon take the position of chief of staff and become a major spokesman.
Cool.
But unfortunately, later that month, everything would change and everything would come to an end.
Oh no!
And we will talk more about that in part 3.
Are you just going to leave? You're just going to leave me? Okay.
I'm gonna have to because there's just so much to do. So part 3 is gonna be longer than this episode. Okay. We may exclude part of our normal broadcast of the What's New segments on part 3, just to make it under an hour because there's so much to cover. But we'll see. We'll see how it works out.
What's new this week?
We have to do this because we just have to, right?
Okay.
Yeah. But that just one more picture of our man there. There's
a grim-looking white guy behind him.
Yeah. Well, there's a lot of grim-looking white guys anytime this guy spoke up. So. All right, so I guess it's time for what is it, Barry? What are we doing now?
What's happening this week? No, it's actually what's new, right?
Yep, that's close.
Now, just before we started recording, we did this before we recorded. We selected some stories that were interesting to us. Seamus, do you want to go first, or would you like me to go first?
It don't matter. You call. All right. I've been talking more than you. So go ahead.
CIA, I typed CIA into Google just before the podcast, and I hit the news tab, and some of this stuff came up. A Georgia man with a history of impersonating law enforcement officers was arrested after allegedly claiming to be a CIA agent, the U.S. AG's office said in a news release. Robert Dirthart Jr., a 38-year-old from Columbus, Georgia, allegedly left a voicemail with the U.S. Attorney's Office identifying himself as a CIA agent with his Protection Operations Division with top security clearance. So that's a story you can read if you want. Awesome. Another one is that the headline says, why did the CIA keep getting blindsided by insurgencies? For more than a year before Afghanistan's final fall, the Taliban or their Pakistani paymasters had approached every district government to try and co-opt them and arrange their surrender as the United States conducted its withdrawal. Neither the CIA or the special envoy or diplomats stuck behind the State Department's embassy in Kabul picked up on this. Their intelligence failure completely blindsided Washington, right? And a related story is kind of an opinion piece about the CIA's zero units and their night raids in Afghanistan. That the CIA was not just arming and training special units, it was accompanying them They were accompanied by CIA agents to do special raids in Afghanistan. So they were in the field, CIA agents, doing military maneuvers, and they still didn't pick up on the fact that if they ran away, the Taliban would be in charge of the country. And it took about 2 days, right, for them to retake the entire country. Like, that's insane, right? The Taliban, they were, it's not like they were that organized even. It was just sloppy.
Yeah.
Sloppy. Anyway, and the last one I have is, why has the director of the CIA just visited Libya? And there's a whole thing about the director of the CIA having just visited Libya. And if you're interested in that, just do what I did. Put CIA into Google and hit the news tab.
Isn't Libya the kind of like a slaver's bay at the moment? A bunch of slave trading going on?
It's one of them, isn't it?
Yeah.
Like traditionally it was that way too, wasn't it?
Well, until Gaddafi came in, right? And Gaddafi.
Yeah.
And then we disposed Gaddafi. Remember Hillary Clinton's famous line on that? What was it? We came, we saw, he died.
Yeah.
I like.
Yeah. There's pluses and minuses, I guess. Yeah.
Yeah. And I'm not propping up, fucking Gaddafi. He was an evil fucker too. But Jesus Christ, you think you would have okay, we're gonna dispose a dictator. Maybe we won't let slavery reoccur. I mean, I don't know. Come on. Throw these people a bone.
Freaking bone.
You're right, yeah. I only got 2 FBI stories.
Yeah, you did the same thing I did, right? FBI news tab.
Yep. FBI produces a 168-page document relating to the Angelina Jolie fight with Brad Pitt on a 2016 flight. Yes.
Did you say 160 pages?
164. 164, Barry.
Oh, wow. Before those are probably just sources. Yeah. Most of which will be BuzzFeed pages.
The other story is court-ordered release of FBI records deepen in the mysterious dig for Civil War era gold. Do you want to know any more about that? Okay, I'll click on this one because there's a lot to
gold. Yeah, I saw a movie once called The Good, the Bad, the Ugly that was about that.
Yeah, well, boy, it's actually kind of familiar. I'm going down here. So basically, there's this family. It's like a father-son, Indiana Jones kind of thing, right? So they're out trying to find this gold. Yep.
That sounds interesting. I might check that out.
I'm trying to find.
Well, the FBI are involved somehow.
Here we go. Dennis Peretta waged a legal battle to force the FBI to turn over records of its excavation in Dents Run, Pennsylvania, which is less than 2 hours from me, actually. Where local lore says that in 1863, a shipment of Union gold disappeared on its way to the U.S. Mint in Philadelphia. The FBI, which went to Dense Gold after sophisticated testing, suggests tons of gold might be buried there, has long insisted the dig came up empty.
So it's not bullshit then. They did some testing and found it might be there.
Yeah, there's a whole... want to
keep going.
Right, there's a whole list of things that they're calling bullshit on. That they actually did an actual extensive dig. They had this
might check that out.
Geothermic, all these state of the art things to do it. They filmed. I think it was 7 days that they were there, but there's they've released video, but they're there's 2 days, including the very last day. They're not releasing the video too. There's a lot of documentation about it. So basically, I think what this guy's trying to say without saying is, yeah, they took the fucking gold and they're not saying it.
He thinks the FBI took the gold.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
That's what he seems to be strongly insinuating. So.
Oh, there it is. Dennis Peretta. Yeah, I have it. I'll check that out now when we're finished. Cool.
Yeah.
Thanks, man.
Don't confuse him with Dennis Prager, please.
Yeah, or Jake Peralta.
Yeah. Oh, I hit the wrong thing. We've been promoting the wrong podcast this little episode.
Well, what did it say?
Yeah, and the Free Thought Profit scrolling below.
Well, that's, I mean, if you support the Free Thought Profit, you're not too far away.
Yeah, okay, hey. Well, now you guys can check out the
Jib podcast, yes.
Yeah, so hey, you can follow us too.
To put a new podcast, Seamus. Whose idea was this?
I don't know. Some guy. I think it was 2 guys at a bar. One was drunk, one was drinking Coke Zero. So
that's you.
Yeah.
What is that? Is that it? Do you have any more FBI pages? Is that it?
I only got the 2. Yeah, that was only 2 we're talking about.
We did only 1, 2, 3. Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's it. We're done.
I think so. Are we?
All right. Then I guess we will see you all the next time we talk about, I guess, the final chapter of the Fred Hampton story.
Yep. So we're gonna try to. I should say we're a bi-weekly podcast. we're going to try to, when we do these 2-parters, 3-parters, whatever they turn into be, to kind of roll them out weekly so you're not waiting, an extra bit of time. Which is another reason why to follow social media, because if it's going to be outside of that, one of us or both of us will let you know. So,
and if you do like this stuff, do let us know, and do, as they say, like and subscribe, right? They say that, don't they, the kids?
That's what they say. Like, subscribe.
Like and subscribe.
Send us money, whiskey, women.
I have no use for whiskey.
Alrighty, folks.
Right.
See y'all. Bye.